Hello team, it's been a while since I've done some of these. Back again, doing exactly the same thing since the beginning of the year, since the last 2 years. Frankly, since I started trading, guys. Um, what we're doing again, it's a break and retest trade. I'm gonna give you guys a little tip. Since leaving full-time employment in construction, I had 3 months at the beginning where I completely spiraled out. And then I came back to one realization. The realization was instead of changing the strategy that made me feel confident and made me feel that I was in a position to potentially leave full time employment, why don't I go back to it and improve the entry? And that's pretty much exactly what I did. And I've worked with that methodology since starting to trade full time. And it's obviously paying off massive dividend now, as you guys can see. So today we're going to again explore another break and retest trade that I've taken and showing you how you can take advantage of break and retest trades on the lower time frame. As I normally say to beginners, try and focus on break and retest that you've seen on the 4 hour, the daily, or potentially the weekly per se, and start improving on your entries. But this was in theory a 15-minute break and retest. Once again, I've executed on the 1 minute, but it would have been a little bit more hard to the untrained eye to see this trade. So let's start working on it and let's start seeing how I was able to spot this opportunity and take advantage of it. So first things first, as we can see, guys, we are in a position where I'm always starting on the higher time frame, always, regardless. Whether I'm trying to take a trade on the 1 hour, I'm always starting on the higher time frame. In this occasion was the 15-minute, but still, daily context is absolutely important. If I don't know what my daily context is, I am better off going to the bookies because I will have no idea what the market direction is. Are we in a trend-based market or are we range-bound? So as I went down to the daily, I also went down to the 4 hour. I want to ensure and see potentially what phase we might be in. Are we in a phase one? Are we potentially in a phase two? And guys, I need to be in phase two. Why is that? I am a break and retest trader. So I need a push phase and a pull phase. I need to come back to a certain region to retest. So I'm always wanting to be in a phase two. I mean, it makes complete sense, doesn't it? So after that, I started to see a cluster of candlesticks on the 4 hour. Whenever I see a cluster, that's when I know that there might be a potential opportunity in there for me to breach and retest, or in this occasion to break and retest. So the cluster can be anywhere between 2 to 3, potentially 4 candles at tops. It doesn't have to be much. Of course, the longer the cluster, the more I'm more influenced by it because I want to see price holding at a certain level. The longer it holds at that level, the more it's telling me that there's buyers and sellers interacting there. So it's extremely important. So now I'm going down to the 1 hour. And as I can see, I'm starting to see some potential formations being created. So I'm loving the fact that I'm seeing once again price holding within this price region. And we're starting to see traders breaking away from a level and then coming back into it. So this is the higher time frame level that we identified on the daily, and this is now what I call an immediate region. So some trader will say, what is an immediate region? An immediate region is a region where I'm looking to pinpoint the trade from, and normally is exactly the same principle, the principle of seeing buyers and sellers interacting. In this occasion, buyers holding, identifying the last stab telling me that buyers were trying to hold and we breached below. So really liking this, and now it's time to pay attention. I went down to the 15-minute and started to see what the price action would do. So once again, I need to go further back, guys. Sorry, because this trade was last week. Here we go. So once again, I'm trying to identify and look for the same signals that I'm always looking for. Being in a position where I'm seeing 2 to 3 candles that enable me to become a seller. So once again, you guys know I'm sell biased. I like to sell. Sells move extremely quickly in comparison to other trades. Well, buy trades, of course. There's no other trade out there. So once again, I'm seeing that breakout and I'm seeing that pullback. Someone's going to ask the question, Obes, why didn't you trade this one? Well, as you can see, guys, we didn't come back to the level. It is an absolute non-negotiable. If it doesn't come back and interact with the level, I am not in. You need to think as your trading strategy as an equation. If you change the variable of an equation, you're going to get a completely different result from what you will normally get or what you're looking for. So I need every single price, or I need every single candlestick to come back to the level and interact with it before I'm looking to either buy or sell. So coming back in, here we go. We got the 2 to 3 candles that we're looking for before the move to the downside. So I'm going to now go to the 1 minute. Hopefully, it shouldn't take too long to get back over there to identify the price action that I was currently looking for. That will then allow me to frame the trade and take advantage of it. Here we go. So once again, what can we see? What can we see? We're seeing a potential triple top here, guys, which I'm really liking, and showing me that sellers keep rejecting price. I didn't enter at that current moment, but I then started to see price potentially creeping up again, and boom, this was the signal for me. This actual candle was the signal for me to get in. So I had my stop loss somewhere up here, which I'm going to actually mark out. And then, of course, I was aiming for the 1 hour region that I identified, which we're going to go to later. But I really want to talk about this entry. This entry over here, which I'm going to move this out of the way. You guys can clearly see it took so many buying candles to get flushed out by one seller candle. The market is fractal. If you see a signal on the weekly, daily, monthly, it doesn't matter. You're going to see that same signal on the 1 minute. So what does that mean? Is that you are able to trust the price action because it means the same thing across the board. Of course, if you go to the higher time frame, it has a lot more weighting. But let's think about what we're doing here, guys. We are trying to frame an entry. So if I'm seeing the velocity and the speed of sellers coming into the market after we had this creeping price action from the buyers, I'm in. There's no other reason for me to think, and we're going to execute. So we've executed the trade, and we can clearly see, if I go back to the 1 hour over here, guys, just quickly. Again, excuse me pushing this back. There we go. The trade is right there. We're going to be able to see that we pretty much came back into this region and gotten at least, I didn't make 5%. I think I'll be lying there. I made about 3.5%, guys. Because again, I came back where the sellers were coming from. Sorry, where the buyers were coming from in this occasion. So once again, I'm seeing this region here and I'm saying to myself, you know what, guys, I'm not entirely too sure. I don't think I want to be in a position where I want these buyers to take the money that I've made from me. I'm seeing how buyers pushed away from this region. I'm going to get out. Someone's probably going to say, but Obes, you left so much on the table. Guys, I don't know. I know from trading my system is that I'm not going to sell into a buying region. This is the closest thing that I can see being a buying region because that's where price has pushed away from. So I'm going to take my money and get out. And guys, this is it. I'm going to keep doing the same thing. It's almost the end of the year. Am I going to change my trading strategy? Absolutely not. I'm going to keep doing the same thing, being systematic and impartial with the way that I trade. And eventually, give you guys potential at the end of the year, all the results that I've got through the year by trading this same system. So take care, have a good one, and we'll go from there. Bye bye.